Hi guys, welcome to our first yoga practice here in my space. I'm so excited to share my practice with you and to just help you to find your way here during uncertain times. So I hope you took a few minutes to prepare your space and to remove distractions, kind of warm it up a bit and just prepare the sacred place for us to move. And I'd also like to really encourage you to heighten that sense of hearing. So oftentimes we're in a studio and we're able to look around and kind of see what's going on. And of course I'm going to be practicing with you, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't able to kind of talk you through your practice without you having to look around and see what's going on. So I'm going to do the very best that I can. Of course you might have to peek here and there and see what I'm doing. But I will do my best to talk you through this practice, keeping my voice as calm and reassuring as I can. I know that some of you are practicing for the first time maybe ever, or you are new to the practice, and I'll offer modifications and variations of postures to guide you. And everything that I ask of you are just suggestions, ways to move your bodies and really feel something. So you have to ultimately listen to your body and know how to move it without bringing any kind of pain or aggravating any injuries. So I trust you to listen to your body as we practice. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and rest our hands on our knees. Sit nice and tall as you take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, we'll push it out of our mouth. Grounding down into the sit bones, sitting nice and tall. Begin to awaken a deep breath in and out of your nose. Finding complete inhales, complete exhales. Filling your lungs, emptying your lungs. So breath is everything in our yoga practice. Really follow this breath the best that you can throughout your practice. So this breath serves to calm our bodies. And this is a breath we can use not only on our mat, but in times of stress and times of anxiety. So really learn how to use that breath to benefit you. So oftentimes our yoga practice seems to be about the asanas and the postures, but ultimately it's a breathing practice. It's a practice to help you in your life. So we don't do our yoga practice to get better at yoga. We do our yoga practice to find better and benefits in our life. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Set an intention for your practice, linking it to your life in a positive way, and let every breath and every movement be in honor of this intention today. And we have so many things to be thankful for. Send that intention out into the universe and know deep within your heart that it's going to arrive. Keeping the palms together, on an inhale, push your arms up overhead, look up towards your thumb. Pull the ribs away from the hip bones, sit nice and tall. Really squeeze those inner arms together and then separate the hands shoulders width as you pull the shoulders down away from the ears, look forward. Then drop that right hand just behind that right hip and bring that left hand across to the right knee and take a deep breath in. Sit tall. And as you exhale, twist, look over your right shoulder. And remember that as we twist, we limit the breath just a little bit. Focus on deepening that breath. Complete inhales, complete exhales. Quiet your mind. On an inhale, we'll circle those arms all the way back up. Shoulders pulling down away from the ears. Bring the left hand behind you, right hand across to that left knee. Inhale, sit tall as you find length. And exhale, twist, looking over that left shoulder. Feel that twist coming all the way up the spine, across the shoulders, across the waist. Inhale as you unwind, reaching those arms back up. And exhale as you twist to the right. Inhale, reaching the arms back up. Exhale as you twist to the left. And begin to follow your breath here. So inhale as we reach. Exhale as we twist. And just really moving as if you're underwater. So the resistance of the water is making you move very slowly. Mindfully and intentionally. Feeling every little thing in between. And the next time you reach the arms up, we'll meet right here. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears, look forward. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, begin to fold forward. Palms or fingertips come down onto the mat. Inhale as the heart pulls forward. Find some length, maybe wiggle around, make some room in your belly. And exhale and fold in. Now I know some of you might have some issues with the knees. Make adjustments here. You might straighten one leg or both. You might bring the soles of the feet together. Take your variation of this posture. So listening to your body here, it's talking pretty loudly. I can imagine feeling a lot going on in the inner thighs, the hamstrings, the outer hips, the lower back. These are your tight places. Listen to them. Nurture them. Stretch them as we practice. Inhale as you come halfway up, and as you exhale, begin to walk the hands over to the right, centering the chest over that right knee like the best that you can. Inhale, heart pulls forward, and fold out and over. Really feeling a nice stretch here on the outside of that left hip, left side waist. And breathe. Don't lose that breath. Inhale as you come halfway up. As you exhale, walk the hands back to center. Inhale, pull that heart forward, and exhale, fold in once again. Inhale as you come halfway up. As you exhale, walk the hands over to the left, centering the upper body over that leg. Inhale for length, and exhale and fold. Inhale as you make your way halfway up, and exhale, walk the hands to center. One more time. Heart pulls forward, a little wiggle, make some room, and exhale and fold. Inhale as you begin to make your way up. And let's go ahead and extend the legs straight out in front of us here, flexing the toes back towards your face. You might give yourself a little lift here and kind of tuck that pelvis back and reach the arms up overhead. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears as you ground down into the sit bones. Pull those ribs away from the hip bones. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, folding forward, put a little bend in the knees if you need to. Hamstrings are probably tight. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Find some length and fold into Paschimottanasana, our intense Western stretch here. And breathe. Drag those shoulder blades down the back and just looking forward. So those knees might be bent. You might just allow the upper body to flow over the lower. This doesn't have to look any certain way, as long as you're feeling something here in those hamstrings, in the lower back. You're feeling something, you're doing it perfectly. Inhale as you begin to make your way up. And we'll go ahead and bend those knees, wrapping the arms around, and find that balancing spot. So we're looking for that spot in the middle of the tailbone and sitting bones, and lift the feet up off of the mat. You might stay right here, just finding this balance, firm core, pelvic floor lifted, navel drawn into the spine. You might stay here. Core is firm and active. You might like to take it just a little bit further and reach the arms forward. Feel that core engage. You might like to take it a little further and lift those legs. You might begin to shake, and that's okay. Finding Navasana, boat pose, igniting that fire in our bellies. You might take behind the knees and pull that heart forward, reaching the arms forward once again. Take a deep breath and lift. And as we lower, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall open. And Baddha Konasana. So walk the glutes towards the heels, or pull those heels towards the glutes and sit nice and tall. Deep inhale. Tuck the chin slightly on that exhale. Check in with your bandhas here. So pelvic floor lifted, navel drawn into the spine, firm core. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, fold forward, leading with the chin. Once those hips begin to say no more, tuck the chin, drop the crown of your head in, round through the shoulders. Baddha Konasana, bound ankle pose. Notice what you're feeling in the inner thighs, continuing to keep the pelvic floor lifted and the navel drawn into the spine. Breathe. Inhale as you make your way up, collecting the knees. Extend the legs straight out in front of you. Again, you might give yourself a little lift as you tuck that tail under, tucking it back, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Paschimottanasana once again. Inhale as the heart pulls forward, and exhale and fold. Maybe straighten the knees a little bit if you had them bent last time. Breathe. Inhale as you begin to make your way up, and we'll squeeze those knees in one more time, wrapping the arms around here. Find that balancing spot. Lift the feet, sit nice and tall. And find your version of Navasana boat pose. Reach the arms forward, lift the legs, breathe. Hanging out with any shaking. So remember that our brain will give out before our body does. Tell yourself you can. Take one more deep breath and lift just a little bit more. And bringing the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall open. Take a deep breath and sit nice and tall, finding Baddha Konasana. And exhale as you fold forward. Tuck the chin, crown of the head dropping and round through the shoulders. Inhale as you begin to make your way up. We'll squeeze those knees back together, extending the legs for Paschimottanasana. Once again, tip the pelvis under, reach the arms up, fold forward. Taking a hold, inhale, find some length. You might waddle around here just a little bit to make space in your belly, and exhale as you fold. Inhale as you come on up, bending those knees. One more boat pose here. You've got this. Really beginning to feel warm now. Lift the feet up off of the mat. Find your balancing spot, reach the arms forward, lift the legs. Breathe. Feel that core working, hip flexors working, pelvic floor lifted. Everyone's joining in to keep these legs lifted. Take one more deep breath and lift. Exhale, soles of the feet come together once again. This time keep them a little bit pushed forward. We've got a bigger diamond shape between the legs. Take a deep breath in and exhale and fold. So this time the forehead or the crown of the head comes towards the bottom of the feet. This is a direction, not necessarily a goal. And notice how that stretch changes. It comes out of the inner thighs. It comes into the outer hips just a little bit more and settle in. Breathe. Inhale as you begin to make your way back up. We'll bring the knees together, extend the legs, reaching the arms up. A little wiggle here, take a deep breath in, exhale, fold forward. Inhale a little bit more length as you pull the ribs away from the hip bones and fold in. A little more deeply if you can. Inhale as you begin to make your way up, and we'll bend those knees, bringing the feet flat to the mat. And they're about hips width and parallel here as you bring the hands behind the hips, fingertips forward. Squeezing the shoulder blades together slightly as we open our heart. And you might stay right here pushing into the hands, or you might like to push into the feet, lifting the hips up, dropping the head back, finding reverse table. Arms and legs like pillars holding you up. Push into those feet. Take a deep breath and lift the hips just a little bit more as you exhale, lowering back down. And we'll cross the ankles here and see if you can tuck the heels underneath. Give yourself a little lift as you roll forward, making your way onto hands and knees. So setting yourself up in your tabletop position here. Bring the wrists directly under the shoulders and knees right under the hips here, and just allow the belly to sink in as the tail lifts. And we'll go ahead and drop the head, stretching the back of your neck. And check in with the shoulder blades here. We're not letting those shoulder blades sink in. We're pushing into the hands, supporting across the shoulders. And on an inhale, we'll lift the chin as we make our way into cow. As you exhale, push the floor away, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, cat pose. Inhale as you lift the chin, lift the tail, cow. And we'll begin to follow our breath here. So exhale as we round. Inhale as we lift. Following your breath. So it's easy to know how our body is feeling when we come into the full form of the posture, all the way to cat or all the way to cow. But consider everything that is going on in between as the spine dips and rounds. We ask a lot of our spine. Let's take care of it, nurture it. Our cat and cow postures, two opposing postures we should be doing every single day. And as you come back to a neutral spine, a flat back, check in with the core. Suck that lower belly in. We'll bring the big toes together to touch and set the hips back towards the heels and rest the forehead on the mat. As we find our child's pose, you might explore into this posture a little bit. You might open the knees a little bit wider, just letting the belly sink in, or you might like to keep the knees tucked up underneath To support across the lower back, you'll find a little stretch in the hamstrings, or in the quads there. And on an inhale, we'll walk the fingertips forward, lifting the elbows up off of the mat, keeping the forehead lowered if you can. Pull forward into the shoulders and down into the hips. As you move your body in two directions here, and find extended child's pose. So pulling the shoulders forward and drawing the hips back, and breathe. Inhale as you come halfway up. As you exhale, walk the hands over to the right, stretching up the left side of your body. You might even rest that left hand on top of the right. Look underneath that left arm. Inhale as you come halfway up. As you exhale, walk the hands over to the left. Maybe resting that right hand on top of the left hand as you find a stretch up the right side. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, walk the hands back to center. And let's keep the hands way out in front of us where they are, and on an inhale we'll come up through hands and knees. You might back those knees up just a little bit as you lower the pelvis down into the mat and pull the heart forward. So our chest comes between our upper arms, the shoulders drop down. You might drop the chin, so keeping the tops of the feet flat. You might lift those kneecaps. And as you exhale, pull the hips back towards the heels, coming back towards your child's pose. And then on an inhale, we're going to come back towards our cobra here. Shoulders drop down, chin lifts. And exhale, pull it back and begin to follow your breath here. So inhales pull you forward. And exhales bring you back. And whenever you're ready, we'll bring the big toes together to touch and sit back once again into our child's pose and settle in. You might even stack the hands, rest the forehead on the hands, and just allow those hips to drop back. So remembering that our child's pose is our safe solace on our mat. It's a place where we can check in if we need a little rest, if we need to check in with the breath. Any yoga practice you ever come to, if you need to take a little break, you come into child's pose. That's a universal symbol that everything is okay as long as we take a rest. And on an inhale, let's come back up onto our hands and knees and find that tabletop position and making sure that you're really setting yourself up here. As we stack bone on bone, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, we set ourselves up for a really nice balancing spot to come into spinal balance. So on an inhale, let's lift that right leg up behind us, level with the hip. As we reach the left arm forward, thumb towards the ceiling, really squeeze that arm and leg in towards the midline. Right gluteals are engaged, core is engaged. And breathe. Take a deep breath here. Lift that arm and leg an inch. And as you exhale, drop that left hand down to the mat. We'll level the hips here. Let's pivot on that left knee. So kick that left shin out for a little bit of a kickstand. You might drop those right toes down onto the mat for balance. And then reach that right arm up as you find Vashisthasana, side plank, supported with that left knee down. And you might lift those right toes up. Gaze up towards those right fingertips. So we're stacking shoulder over shoulder. We're pushing the right glute towards the right heel. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you bring that left shin parallel to the right leg. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, drop that right hand down. We'll level the hips, keeping that right leg lifted. And then squeeze that right knee into the chest. Push into the hands, make space, round through the shoulders. We'll step that right foot all the way up between the thumbs. And we'll make our way up into our crescent lunge here. So bringing your hands to your waist. Let's see how I should be here. And as your hands are on your waist here, explore into the front of that left hip flexor by leaning forward. Now, if you're feeling anything in that lower back, you're going to rock it right back. Bring that hip right above the knee. So you decide where you need to be here, and whenever you're ready, you're going to reach the arms up. Pull the ribs away from the hip bone, so our crescent lunge. That crescent shape here in the lower back. Let's take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, bend the elbows down to the sides. Dip the fingertips down and reach. And a couple more times, flow through here. Feel those shoulders working. Take a deep breath in. Maybe a little back bend here as you look up. Exhale the hands to the mat. And we're going to curl those left toes under and rock back as we bow out and over that right leg. This is going to look really different for everyone. Stretching that right hamstring. So we all have a little bit different, or a lot different ability and flexibility in those hamstrings. That's what we're working on in our yoga practice. Flexibility. Keeping the left toes curled under if you can. That'll stretch the bottom of that foot. If you need to bring the top of that foot flat because it's way too intense, go where you need to go. This is your practice. Inhale as you bend that right knee, planting the hands. Let's bring the top of that left foot flat as we bring the right knee back to our tabletop position. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, rock the right hip back towards the right heel. And inhale as we circle up through the left side. And follow your breath. You might even close your eyes and feel your way. Guess what? It doesn't matter what you look like. This is your practice. You're in the safety of your own home. Do what feels good to you. As we make our way back to our tabletop position, stack yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and on an inhale we'll lift the left leg up behind us, level with the hip, reaching the right arm forward, spinal balance. Squeeze arm and leg in towards the midline. Firm core, left gluteals engaged, breathe. Looking slightly forward on the floor, no strain on your neck. You might shake a little, that's okay. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, we'll drop that right hand to the mat. Pivot on that right knee. Swing that right shin out like a kickstand. You might drop those left toes down for balance, reaching the left arm up. And find Vashisthasana side plank. So extending that left leg, lifting it up, or keep those toes lowered. A little more challenge would be to bring that shin parallel to the left leg. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, dropping that left hand down, leveling the hips. Left leg is lifted. Squeeze that knee into your chest, round through the shoulders, make space. Step that left foot up as we find our crescent lunge. So hands to hips. Sink in as you see what you can feel here on the front of that right hip flexor. If that lower back is bothering you at all, remember, shift that right hip back over that right knee. Whenever you feel balanced and ready, reach the arms up. Pull the ribs away from the hip bones, that gentle curve in the lower back. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, bending the elbows down to the sides, and do that 3, maybe 4 times. Follow your breath. As you come back to the top, maybe you find a little bit of a back bend. Exhaling the hands to the mat. We'll curl those right toes under and rock it back as you bow out and over that left leg to your own degree. Feel that left hamstring stretch again. Right toes tucked under, or bring the top of that foot flat if that foot bothers you, but really try to keep the heart pulling forward and out and over, so we're not so much here as we are here. Inhale as that left knee bends, planting the hands, bring that leg back, right top of the foot flat. We're in our tabletop position once again. Take a deep breath here as you exhale, left hip rocks back towards left heel. Inhale up through the right. Follow your breath. Close your eyes, feel your way. Whenever you're ready, we'll bring the big toes together to touch, setting the hips back towards the heels, forehead rests on the mat, and find your child's pose. Close your eyes and settle in, checking in with your breath. So we're preparing our bodies here, our bodies and our breath here for a moment to bring our practice up to standing. So really check in with that breath. Make sure that it is nice, smooth, even in and out of the nose. So you might take account of that breath on an inhale as you fill your lungs, and exhale that same number. As we find our sun salutations, our one breath, one movement becomes a little bit more important. So really notice the length and depth of that breath for you. And on an inhale, we'll make our way up onto hands and knees. Setting yourself up in your tabletop position so our fingers are spread nice and wide. Middle fingers pointing forward. And curl the toes under and send the hips up and back as you find downward facing dog. So as you come to your down dog, your hands are about shoulders width, feet about hips width. The head hangs heavy between the upper arms. We're scooping the lower belly in and up. And begin to walk your dog by pressing into one heel and then the other. So probably your first down dog of the day. Taking it easy on those hamstrings to start. So pressing into the opposite hand of the heel that you're pressing down. And eventually both heels will descend evenly towards the mat. Doesn't matter if they come all the way down. This is about the shape of our ankle. anatomy. Some will, some won't. We're not going to worry about those things. And on an inhale, we'll come to the toes and glance up between the thumbs. And as you exhale, we're going to walk or step the feet to the top of the mat. So it doesn't matter how many steps it takes to get there, you just want to get there. As we reach the top of our mat, on an inhale, we pull the heart forward, lengthen the spine. You might bring the hands up to the shins here. We're finding length in that spine, creating space in the belly. And as you exhale, fold, tuck the chin, dropping the crown of your head in Uttanasana. And let's go ahead and separate the feet about hips width as you give yourself a nice base to stand on. Put a little bend in the knees. Take a hold of opposite elbows as you let the head hang heavy between the upper arms and begin to sway if that feels good. You rock from foot to foot. Maybe bring the hips into it a little bit. So we keep those knees bent to take the stretch out of the hamstrings, bringing it into the lower back, using the weight of the head and arms to pull our spine down. Most importantly here, deep breaths. Go ahead and release the fingertips down to the mat or to your shins. Keeping that gentle bend in your knees. On an inhale, we'll roll to standing. So dragging the hands up the front of your body. As we come up, shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, dragging the shoulders down your back. Grounding down into your feet. Lift the toes up off of the mat. Spread them wide as you drop them back down. I need to adjust here just a little bit. And our palms are facing forward as our shoulders are dropping down. Feel that core engage. Kneecaps are lifted, quad muscles engaged, so really feel like you're trying to straighten and bend the knees at the same time. Tadasana, mountain pose. Just close your eyes for a moment. As you feel equality on either side of the spine, pressing into each foot evenly. So looking in, we're just kind of standing here. But actually, everything is firm, active, and alive in the core, so lots going on in this posture. A very active posture. And on an inhale, we'll circle the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms up, and exhale as you bend to the right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, come on up, really pull up into those fingertips, and as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale as you come halfway up. And exhale, plant your hands as we make our way back to our downward facing dog. So those of you who have been practicing for a while and are used to coming and going through Chaturanga here, we're going to skip that today because that is a lesson for an entire other practice. I want everyone to find their own version of Chaturanga, and we're going to play around with that during this home practice while we are at home, and we can really focus on that. On an inhale, come to the toes and glance up between the thumbs. As you exhale, walk or step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale as you come halfway up, peek forward. Exhale and fold, curl in. Uttanasana. This time with straight legs and a flat back, we'll circle the arms all the way up. Bring the palms together to touch and exhale them down, heart center, Samasthiti. So equal standing here. I'm not quite sure I'm getting this right, but bear with me. And On an inhale, we'll circle the arms up overhead once again as we begin again. Flip the palms up. Exhale as you bend to the right. Inhale, pull up into the palms. Exhale, left. Inhale, reach it up, really pull up, pull the ribs away from the hip bones as you exhale, fold forward. Suck that lower belly in as you fold, curl in. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, down dog. Taking a couple of breaths here, checking in. Inhale, come to the toes and glance up. As you exhale, walk or step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, come halfway up, spine lengthens. Exhale and fold, curl in. Inhale, straight legs in a flat back, circle the arms up. This time, interlace the fingers, flip the palms up, and exhale as you bend to the right. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold out and over. Curl in, inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and step back, down dog. Breathe. Inhale, come to the toes and glance up. As you exhale, walk, step. You might even be ready to hop those feet. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. This time, let's bring the feet all the way together. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, and reach the arms up as you find Utkatasana. So our weight is down in the heels, down in the butt here. We're tucking that tail under, shoulders relaxed. Utkatasana. Feel those quads working. Spin those pinky fingers in towards one another. Shift it back just a little bit, sink an inch. Take a deep breath in. Exhale the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. You might squeeze those shoulder blades together. We'll straighten the legs and fold. Allow the hands to come away from the back as you stretch into the shoulders. Just let gravity take over. No forcing here. Releasing the fingertips down to the mat or to your shins. Inhale, pull that heart forward. Spine lengthens, create space. Exhale, plant your hands. We'll step right back to our down dog, bringing the feet all the way together at the back of your mat. On an inhale, we'll lift that right leg up behind us. Doesn't matter how high. Squeeze that knee into the chest as you rock forward. Shoulders come above the wrists. We'll step that right foot all the way up between the thumbs. Help it if it gets stuck. Spin that right heel flat. Look down. You're about heel to heel in stance. Keeping a nice bend in that right knee. You might use that knee to push yourself up. Make your way up to your warrior one. So we've got a nice bend in that right knee. We're squaring the hips up to the front of our mat here. Spin those pinky fingers in towards one another. Lift up through the back of that left knee. Take a deep breath here. Exhale the palms down, heart center as you open up to your warrior two. So you're opening up to the left. Can't really see my feet that good here. So right toes are turned out. Left toes are also, okay, so right toes are pointing to the front of your mat. Or are they? Yes. We're here. Okay, so gaze out over the right fingertips. Couldn't figure out what I was doing there. And the left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Gazing out over the right fingertips. Let's flip that right palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand comes down the back of the left leg or support at the waist with that left hand. Maybe peek up towards those right fingertips. Our drishti, our gaze is upward, hastagrai. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, come back to your warrior two. And we're going to cartwheel the hands to the mat on either side of that right foot. Step the left foot back, and find your down dog. And feet coming together at the back of your mat. Preparing for our second side. Inhale as the left leg lifts up behind you, doesn't matter how high. Squeeze that knee into the chest, step it all the way up between the thumbs. Pivot that back heel flat and make your way up to your warrior one. So nice bend in that left knee. You're about heel to heel in stance, but sometimes that right foot needs to step open a little bit if you feel wobbly. Squaring the hips up to the front of your mat, reach. Hips are pushing forward and up. Hip bones lifting away. Ribs lifting away from the hip bones. Take a deep breath in. Exhale the palms down, heart center. Opening up to the right. Find warrior two. So the right toes turn out so the foot is parallel to the back of your mat. You're gazing out over the left fingertips. Centering the upper body over the lower so we're not lunging forward or back. Flip that left palm up. Inhale as you reverse your warrior. Look up towards those fingertips. Nice bend in that left knee. Don't lose that bend. Inhale as you come back to your warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down on either side of that left foot. Come to the ball of the right foot. Step the left foot back. Down dog. And let's bring the hands together at the front of our mat. And either leap or step the feet to the outside of the hands. Sinking the butt down. Bring your hands to heart center. We're finding ourselves in Mahalasana yoga squat here. Elbows are pressing the knees open, so you might need to support with your hands. You might be on your toes. You might be way up here. That's okay. We're working into this posture. So in other countries, they squat all the time. So they use the bathroom. This is how they bear children. This is how they work. We need to squat more often. It's so good for the knees and the hips. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, lower down to the glutes. Keeping the feet flat to the mat here. Bring the hands behind the thighs and begin to lower down onto your back. So feel that core engage as you lower. Once those feet come up, go ahead and sweep the knees back into the chest. And just go ahead and rock a little bit here from side to side. Feel the muscles on either side of the spine loosening. Showing your back a little bit of love, a little self-massage. And then bring that back nice and flat into the mat, so really squeeze in. Let's go ahead and let the arms roll open to a T. Let both knees pass over to the right as your head turns to the left. Our breath is still nice and deep, in and out of the nose. Make any adjustments with the legs that you need to. So if you need to straighten the leg, if you need to push those knees away from you, go wherever it is you need to go. Let's take a deep sighing breath in through the nose and exhale, push it out of your mouth. Our baby lion's breath, sending with it all negative, all things that don't serve you for the rest of this day. Inhale as you bring the knees back up through center. As you exhale, allow them to pass to the left as your head turns gently over the right shoulder. Settling in, make whatever adjustment you need to. Take a deep sighing breath in through the nose. Exhale, push it out of your mouth. Vowing to focus only on those things we can control, letting go of all things we cannot. Inhale as you bring the knees back up through center. Wrap your arms around, give yourself a great big hug of gratitude for your strong, amazing body that brought you to your mat this morning or this evening, whenever you're practicing. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Once the heels come down onto the mat, let the feet flop open. Arms come down by your sides, palms facing up. One more time, a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, push it out of your mouth. Allow your breath to come back to its natural resting rhythm. Feel your body absorbing all of the good work that you just did. Find rest. Find peace in Shavasana.